Recording here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? How y'all doing out there? I'm Champ Bobbitt. This is Steve Bayonne. Today we have an important and urgent meeting that we wanted to gather everyone here collectively so we could discuss everything involving Skyton Academy, right? We got some new, basically some new blood in the water right now, and Steve has got some fundamentals that we all want to cover. We're gonna give you guys it all. So, Steve, without further ado, you got the floor. Rock out, brother.
Appreciate that. All right. So, yeah, that wrong link just shook me, man. I'm like, man, what the hell? All right, cool. Yeah, 'cause I was about to scratch the whole academy. Fuck this. But I'm not. So, since I've been back from Colombia, I've been like slowly integrating into um just changes I've been working on since I've been out there. Um, Personal and professional at the same time. So, I've been just watching the academy over this is going on 4 years next month. So that's a pretty big milestone, considering the times that we're in right now. So today marks um, a turning point, for the academy. And that includes everybody who's been a part of it, from day one all the way to if you signed up yesterday. So, I thank you guys for this. So over the past few years, we've definitely built something special. It's been beyond, what I thought it would have been in just a meeting amongst friends and sharing of, crypto information that then grows into a multitude of pillars and just update after update after update, right? In an ever-changing world and economy, right? You have to pivot to keep up with the time. So over the past few years, it's definitely been special. Um, a full community that not only learn together, but we're growing together, um, and we're standing through like uncertain times. So when I first set out on this quest, this was a product that like nobody wanted to hear about during the pandemic, right? There was money flowing, everything was going towards like credit repair and kind of all the things. I stood ground. I made sure I didn't follow what the masses were doing, and it was definitely trying times in growing a product that the culture just couldn't accept or adapt, right? Um, so as we have a new administration that's more crypto friendly, we're starting to see what was presented to us, 4 or 5 years ago, even 10 years, depending on how long Champ and I. You're starting to see all this stuff come to fruition. All right, so this last quarter is going to be one for the books in all aspects, right? So tonight I want to show you guys exactly where we're going, what's changing, and how every single one of you guys fit into the next era of Skyton Academy. Right. When I first set out on a vision, it was always to give people the information, uh, good, bad, or indifferent. Let them decide on what they want to do, and then the ones that stay, stay. The ones that leave, I mean, we've probably had more people leave than stayed over time, right? Thousands of students, all coming in at different times, and this is what I would call like the legit like fourth quarter right now for crypto. There's not going to be another year like this moving forward. Um, I want to say just this year alone, the dollar has lost 10%. So if we're dating back to like the early 1900s, $1,000, you would need about 30,000 to make everyday purchases. So this is kind of where we're at with this inflation. So it's holding on by a thin string, but we know where the hedges are and we know where the economy and financial system is going. The downside to it is we have to deal with the lack of freedom and um, the controls that are going to be in place with this. So, with that said, I just want to get into what we would call the next chapter, and it's called the well, the era of digital sovereignty, right? I've been talking about this for months now. Now it's going to finally come together for you guys. All right. So where can I start? All right. Let me start with why the shift is happening like this. All right. And it's not like random. There's so many things like as I'm reflecting, even as I'm talking, where we talked about the three M's for your data, right? The maintaining of the data, the minimizing, places that you use it, and then the monetizing of it, right? So we've been saying this for like years without actually knowing where the academy was going. We always pushed the data situation being the new oil, one of the biggest commodities that people don't even know the value of their data because it's kind of, we loosely give it, right? We just press button, accept in exchange for giving this information. And we have no idea the economies that are wrapped around our data every day, right? I think we have a little bit, but we just don't know the numbers per se. So the world is changing fast. Borders, banks, algorithms are tightening control. You're starting to see it. Um, Systems people rely on for money, work, even information are becoming, fragile, manipulated, centralized, even more centralized as decentralization is being birthed right in front of us. But the internet was also decentralized, and now we see the controls in place. So nothing's really changing. So most people don't even realize it yet, but we're entering a time where your access to opportunity, to finance, to communication, could all be restricted by systems that me and you don't control, right? So now we have to start to identify these things. Now, the truth is, if we don't own the systems, your money, your data, your tools, your skills, someone else will own all of it. All right. When I watched that Russia Ukraine war happen, that's when I started to see like the power of government, right? To be able with no laws, no going to court, no due process, just straight freezing accounts left and right, right? You watched the lady from China the other day, champ. I don't know if you saw that story, but she stole about $6 billion worth of Bitcoin,
I did.
right? So think
Yep.
about it. Now that Bitcoin is where it's frozen,
Yep.
right? They're not looking to give it back to the people who lost it. They're looking to keep that. Same thing's happening on the Ripple side. You have the link to platform that we put the academy onto. Now they're filing for bankruptcy. Um, Now these shares of a pre-IPO could pretty much evaporate due to nonsense that the company ran. We're talking about this thing could have probably opened at, and I'm talking about low end $2,000 a share. We were getting in at like $20.
$20, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this is where we're at. That's going through due process, but it's just wild. So this was one of the main reasons why this academy was built, so we can not only have a seat at the table to understand where it's going, but then to I always stress we have to build in these times. Okay. So to prepare people to not just survive in these shifts, but to thrive beyond them. That was the basic premise of this. Okay. So now that I know a lot of you guys are positioned well with on the crypto side, we're probably 30 to 60 days away from seeing some major moves. And you're starting to see the market cap now, 4.25 trillion is the highest it's ever been. Of course, Bitcoin's leading the charge. They're also minting like crazy. So we're just talking about this is all hedged for inflation. The system is about to be like fully operational soon. Okay. And in doing so, I didn't want to prepare you guys for a world of uncertainty when you have money. Because what happens is the first thing you want to do is you want to throw it out to every idea that seems like it's a genius idea, right? And I want you guys to chill, okay? Because everyone's going to be selling something in these times. And because you have or will have access to capital, you want to be smart about these moves. You want to be the smart money, right? There's two types of money out here. There's the dumb that just throws it and then they no accountability. And then when it's gone, they're like, well, they don't even know what to do. They don't know what to look for. And then you have the smart money that comes with value, not just money, the value of understanding, the value of being able to add to an ecosystem. And this is kind of where we're at right now. So tonight we're officially declaring Skyton now stands for something we call Digital Sovereignty Manifesto. All right. So what is it? So again, as the world is shifting, the borders, the banks, the algorithms are tightening the grip. But at the academy, we refuse to live within these systems. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know, if y'all been rocking with me for years, you kind of know I'm just what I stand on. All right. So we believe in digital sovereignty for all people, the right and the ability to control your own money, your identity, your tools, your future. Right. I've been on Champ's back lately. Like, yo, listen, just make sure we have backups of every single thing. Right. All the IP that we put on these third party sites, they do not belong to us. This is they are recreating our image and likeness and creating markets around the stuff that we have. I told Champ, I said, listen, education and just information and knowledge is just free, right? To put a price tag on that stuff is, you kind of could get it if you put the right search parameters in, right? So we know that today information and knowledge is readily available at our fingertips, period, right? So what's going to make us stand apart, right? So we're building the infrastructure for human and financial independence. This is one of the main drivers behind the academy. All right. So Skyton Academy is evolving from an educational platform, right, into a global sovereignty ecosystem. Remember that. All right. This is where students are going to learn, build, and invest in systems that make them truly independent. So I was at a crossroad, like, yo, listen, shut this shit down, pivot to something completely new, or bring them on to kind of where I'm at now. And where I'm at now, guys, is all implementation, right? The teaching, the education aspect is just what it is. It'll always be an educational platform, but we've been doing that for 3 years. So because I'm ready to build the projects that, remember, there was some old money I ain't cashing on from back in the days. I'm circling back now with the tools, with the community, um, and the understanding of how to implement these things, okay, from past experiences. So we open up with the first sovereignty, and it's going to be financial sovereignty. All right. So we're teaching you how to control your money, how to avoid gatekeepers, how to build systems that outlast banks and borders. Okay. So this is going to be powered by a new situation that we're setting up within the academy called Skyton Ventures. All right. Skyton Ventures is going to be the investment arm of Skyton Academy. Right. So it's going to be the bridge between learning and equity. See where I'm going with this? All right. So, in our first launch venture under Skyton Ventures, right, is going to be the AI Impact Report app that we talked about. All right. So, it's a student led decentralized business that shows what's possible when education becomes action. Feel me? The next sovereignty, and this one's important, this is mobility sovereignty. All right. You want to be able to move outside of 15 minutes. The money is going to be restrictive, right? It's not going to be free flowing. It's going to come with a lot of parameters if you don't know how to use it. So we're helping members gain freedom to live and build anywhere in the world through passports, visas, and digital residencies. We've started this already. Okay, we're expanding on it. All right. Real sovereignty isn't just digital, it's geographical. Yeah, I got to remember that. All right. So freedom of movement is part of the financial freedom. What's the point of having money if you can't fucking do shit with it? It's pointless. The next one is intelligent sovereignty. All right. This is the AI Visionaries Network. All right. So we're not changing much. We're just rebranding, retooling. All right. So through the AI Builders Group, we're teaching people how to use AI to leverage, not just dependence. All right. Students are learning to design, build, and deploy AI tools. The first thing is you have to have an idea. That was the whole point of the Builder Circle group, was to spark ideas, to get you guys to think. Because before the group started, I had about 4 or 5 people I spoke to, like personally, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at coming up. And the next thing you know, they have like 15 ideas, right? So power of words, right? So it worked. We redirected it. I'm talking about I've been presented a ton of ideas that are all great on its own, right? So the next one is going to be mindset sovereignty. This one's important. It all starts in the mind. So Professor D is going to lead that charge tomorrow. We'll introduce, what she has going. You'll learn to reprogram limitations. That's where we're at. Rebuild focus and then master your mental environment. All right. Because if you can't have external freedom without internal discipline, you understand? So really mindset should have been what we led with before, but we went straight into cryptocurrency. Now we have to kind of reverse engineer the situation. We have to break some of the limiting beliefs that we have before this thing hits. All right. The last sovereignty is going to be community. Okay. So we built the community. We're going to grow the community. So Skyton is becoming a global network. We have people from all over the world in the group now. All right. Um, Resilient entrepreneurs. We have people with, 9 to 5s, career, like all types of people from all walks of life. All right. Creators, you name it. So it's a physical and a digital hub. All right. Connected across borders now. All right. United under one vision. So here are the core values of sovereignty. All right. These are principles that keep us aligned and grounded as we build. So do not forget these. And I've updated them since. All right. So number one is going to be resilience. So build multiple pathways of um, of strength, never depending on just one system. You understand? Number two is going to be self custody, not just the wallet, just in general. Your keys, your files, your backups. You understand? You know how many people I met, Champ, that don't know where their birth certificate is? Oh, I gave it to my mom. I never took it when I left home. Like, what are you talking about now? You're 40 years old.
Wild.
They don't have their social security cards. Guys, get all your documentation. Order them. Long form birth certificates. So we're going to start to give you guys what you need. You need physical copies of these things. If the lights go out and somebody asks you for something, you don't have it. If it's in a cloud, you don't have it. So you have to keep a physical copy of things with you on a drive that you keep at home. And if something was to go down, you can access the drive
Mhm.
without needing the internet because it's not on a cloud. Okay. So that's self custody. Number three is going to be local reliance. This is the building of small circles of trust. Because we're online, we can't really touch each other. If something was to happen, I can't do nothing for Champ right now in Atlanta. He can't do anything for me in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So you need a local group of individuals that are nearby that, kind of follow the same ideology if you ever did need something. People still need to depend on people. All right? Because if it goes offline, then this shit ain't happening. I follow? And then the last one is minimize dependencies. So we're going to start to delete the choke points. All right. So we're going to start to take inventory of things in the group. Oh, I'm sorry. Number five is going to be mindset. That's the sovereignty begins in the head. Really, that should be one. Okay. So these principles are now the DNA of Skyton Academy. All right. So every program, every partnership, every project we launch will be built under these core values in mind. Okay. The next thing is the foundation. Because I know what everybody's going to say. Oh, I don't really have time. I don't really have time. All right. Take inventory at a time. All right. We have the time management situation. Um, Before we talk about what's next, it has to be where's everyone's time going. The time management has to be done every single month because things adjust. All right. What you did in the summer is not what you're doing in the fall. Okay. We might spend a little bit more time outdoors in nature, the beach, whatever vacation. You have to manage the time to understand the cycles that we're in. Productivity usually drops in the summer. You have the back to school. October is usually a low month. November going into what can peak retail is usually like Christmas, going into New Year's, and then the cycle depends on what tax season. Then you have a low in the spring. This is like we move the same way every single year, right? No one ever really catches the wave of momentum when it comes down to it, unless you're part of those guys that are creating verticals that never shut down. Not the mindset of, oh, it's Friday and I'm happy, and then, oh, it's Monday, I'm hating life. Like, you got to get out of that. All right. So the truth is, most people never slow down enough to realize how much time they're actually wasting. Because as we get more and more into convenience culture, we have less and less time. Right. So we're going to have to start the inventory of the time. All right. So if you don't take inventory of your time, you'll never find time for anything new. And we're going into everything new right now. Okay. Um, This is why I want every student, whether you're current, former, or new, to start with the time management course, take it again, fill out the inventory timesheet every 30 days. Before the end of the year, we're going to bring back the top of the year, right? The setting up our calendar year for 2026. We have to start doing that early. Even for the academy, we're putting out dates for fourth quarter. So you'll have all the dates up front. You'll know what most of our topics are going to be on Tuesdays. We're moving them a little bit differently now. Every time is going to be accounted for. That's going to move us forward to implementing the Skyton Ventures. So everything that I want to implement is going to be built into the academy so that you guys can get a front row seat into it. So we can continue to move the academy forward and offer opportunity for people to, whether you invest money, invest time, you're going to learn how to build businesses from the ground up and benefit from it. All right. When the crypto money does hit, this thing turns into another pivot that's going to be more of a hedge fund. Right now, this is an incubator, a hub for all things. We have to know where we're at. We have to understand the technology. We have to together deploy these ideas. I got a guy like Ralph. He's constantly putting in time. Like, I'm identifying everyone who has value in the academy. So I'm no longer sitting here like by myself. I'm calling on you guys as students who have, whether you're a copywriter, whether you're a marketer, whether you're great with design. I need every single body who's a member to be hands on deck. That's going to offer something to the academy. All right. No more just sitting back and watching. We're all going to work. Okay. So that's the first thing I want you guys to do. So the new academy structure. All right. So this is what it's going to look like moving forward. All right. Because everything has to be restructured for a new direction. All right. Skyton is no longer just a teaching platform. It's a living ecosystem that takes you from knowledge to execution to then equity. We got to sit at these fucking cap tables. Those are where the decisions are made, not the investing in Apple. And then Apple is frying our brains with a AirPod. And it's like, come on, guys, this shit is dumb. You know what I'm saying? This is dumb. Like we keep investing in things that are just not investing back in us. All right. So we have to start identifying that. So we have 5 tracks in the new academy. All right. Number 1 is going to be called Education and Mastery. That's the foundation. That's still crypto. It's AI. It's the mindset course. It's aligned with the principles of sovereignty. All right. We have the Builders track. That's going to be the AI Builder Circle, the launch sprint. People come up with ideas. We collectively look at the ideas. We can fund them as a group and bring them to life. All right. So when the money comes, we don't have to go to the external on investment. We've all have time in market or time together to know who we are. All right. There's a starting point. So I'll start to work with selected students one-on-one to bring their app and their business ideas to life. Right. One step closer. We have the protection track. Right. This is the financial arc with Lance. All right. These are programs that will help you secure the wealth and just to kind of set up outside the fragile um, financial system that we know of now. Right. If the money is losing that much value, guys, it can't sit in the bank. It's got to go somewhere. All right. If you listen to us with gold, silver, just in this year alone, you'd be up over 65% on both of them. And we've been saying this for years now. All right. These are all hedges against inflation. So we're going to keep bringing these back to the forefront. The next one is going to be the global mobility track. Right. This is when you see me in Colombia. That's the mobility. All right. The guidance on passports, visas, and residence that expand beyond one jurisdiction. America is becoming a choke point. Right. Any one country is becoming a choke point for most people. It's not just an American thing. It's happening all over the world. So I have people coming from, and they're all like women too, and they're dope, but they're going to be coming on the platform speaking to us about investing or moving abroad. Most of them are in Africa. Africa is a big continent, so they're not going to step on each other's toes. We have people that specialize in Kenya, Ghana. I mean, they cover a gamut of things. Of course, we have people in South America. I have a young lady that's handling stuff in Europe, so I'm going to start to bring them around. Even if you're not ready, you just need to know what it takes because there is a border war going on right now. And, Trump and the president of Gustavo, president of Colombia, they're going back and forth, which is costing, I would say me, but us money, right? The visas are increasing. they're saying, well, gringos got to pay more. And I'm like, shit, I'm getting pulled in with what these guys are doing. And I don't even mess with these guys. But as an American, you got to kind of take everything that's coming, the good, bad. Right. And then the last one is going to be the community hub. That's going to be our monthly calls, which would be Tuesdays. And we will probably throw in a couple other days, depending on the ventures. So we're just kicking into high gear. I'm going to keep all the calls below 45 minutes so we can just get in, get out, have clear instructions on what we all need to do. And then we have follow-ups. All right. They don't always have to be on calls. Right now, Champ dropped the app. I need you guys to download the app to stay alert with the notifications. All right, just make that your good friend. All right. So this is how we're going to connect. This is how we're going to hold each other accountable. This is how we're going to advance together. That's the community hub. All right. So this is all basically Skyton 2.0, guys. Shit, maybe 3, 4.0. We've literally every year we've gone through this, and I want to say around this time of the year too.
Yeah.
All right. So this is where education becomes action and action becomes equity. All right. Ownership. So Skyton Ventures, this is the financial engine of it all. All right. And my wife came up with this 3 I's. She's dope on this one. Innovate, invest, integrate. Okay. This is her thing. So our mission can be summed up in those 3 words: innovate, invest, integrate. So innovate by creating real AI, power tools, or just all sorts of businesses. This doesn't have to be AI driven, but AI has to be a component in any business moving forward, right? And decentralized businesses. We have to understand how this stuff works. When it's driven by people for people, it should thrive, right? No central authority to someone has to guide and build the ship. But I get where I'm going. Okay. The investing part, by giving students and members opportunities to participate and build equity in the future, right? We don't all have to be entrepreneurs, but what you do is you better have an entrepreneur near you. You better have an architect near you. You better have a team of thinkers near you, right? You need a multitude of people to make things drive currently, okay? And then the last I is going to be integrate. So by connecting education, technology, and entrepreneurship into one living ecosystem. So education alone is not enough anymore. All right. Knowledge without ownership isn't freedom, it's dependency. I don't fucking do that. So that's why we're creating Skyton Ventures, the financial arm of the academy. All right. It's the bridge between learning and real world action. That's where we at. All right. So under Skyton Ventures, students will learn how to build, fund, and own decentralized businesses that align with the sovereignty principles that we talked about prior. So each project we launch will represent what? A step towards creating a self-sustaining sovereign economy inside of the academy. When I told you this shit is a bank, this is a bank. This is money and currency is just energy that flows, right? The minute it stops in one place, it just doesn't work, right? This is a place where you go if people need funding, if people need ideas, if people need help. This is the place that you go. This is why you pay the money that you pay every month. All right, tighten up. So the first launch is going to be the AI Impact Report app. It's a student-led business that utilizes AI. And when I say student-led is because if we didn't put it out and if you guys didn't buy it, it wouldn't be a viable product. Right. But because we know the value of it, because you told us what the value was, it only made sense that this product in these times becomes the first driver. All right. So analyze how automation and artificial intelligence is transforming industries. It's proof that Skyton students can go from idea to product, from education to enterprise. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Okay. And then the second launch is going to be the AI powered lead generation app. So this is the one I talked about. Maybe Champ could pull that one up. It was a couple members only calls. No, it was the AI for breakfast call.
AI for breakfast. Yep.
If you didn't listen to it, go to YouTube, go watch the last AI for breakfast call. Champ, you can find that link and just drop it in there for them. And if you're on YouTube, we'll drop it over there too if you can get on that side. That was a good watch, guys. Please, like, I got a lot of good feedback behind it. I had no clue, how much people would have took to it. So This is a smart system designed to help entrepreneurs and small businesses attract new qualifying clients automatically, right? It's practical, it's scalable, and it's built right here in Skyton by the community. So the reason I say the AI stuff is important is because if we are already at the cutting edge of understanding how important it is, and if we're already building and utilizing the systems, how many more people do you think are going to be left behind? Small business is the backbone of America. So if we start to focus on small business to mid-sized businesses and even some of the bigger ones, we can start to become consultants. The days of the traditional 9 to 5 sitting in the office and just thinking that somebody's just going to give you work all day, that's done. That's over. It's all going to be project based. You come in, there's going to be flexibility. Everyone has to think like an entrepreneur. Everybody has to move like one. That's going to be the most valuable um, employee in the future. The architect. That's what I like to call that person, right? So now you have a front row seat into becoming an architect. I watch Jerry. You know, Jerry's a great guy, but I'm seeing his confidence over the years, building and building. You know, the more he gets clarity on who he is and what he's capable of doing. You know, you start to understand what your value is, right? And then the conversations and things around you start to change. So together, these ventures embody the spirit of Skyton Venture or ventures, right? Innovate, invest, integrate. So, one more time: innovate, build new systems that empower independence, invest, give members real equity opportunities, and then integrate. We tie education, business, and sovereignty together into one ecosystem. So, even if you're not in on it from an investment standpoint, you're in on it from a time standpoint, whether you sit through and you watch, you're in on it, whether you pushed and promoted the product, right, through your friends and family, whatever the case is, all hands on deck. All right. So this is how we build real financial independence. All right. Ownership, equity, guys. This is important. All right. So Skyton Ventures is how we prove that sovereignty isn't just a mindset; it's an economy. I hope y'all following this one. Skyton Ventures innovates, invests, integrates. That's our formula for building the future that we want. Period. Nothing else. I'm not worried about shit else that's out there. Okay. We have our community call to actions. All right. That's going to create more retention. We got to connect a little bit more. Right. Um, so Skyton is no more just a school, it's a sovereignty network. So now we just have to figure out what everybody does. We have graphic designers in here. I need them. We have copywriters in here. I need them. Anybody that specializes in something is needed at the academy right now. All right. So the next steps are simple, right? The first thing we have to do is complete the time management course. What I don't want to hear from anybody is I don't have time. Because if you say that, you better have a ton of money in the bank, right? That means you get into it. Okay. So fill out the worksheet, guys. Stay on it bi-weekly. Definitely stay on it monthly at the minimum. Stay connected to the monthly calls. This is the Tuesdays, right? The Wednesdays are, Dot Connect is going to be Dot Connect. Champ asks me, what do I think of it? I'm like, all good things come to an end. You know what I'm saying? That Wednesday is valuable real estate. It's a lot of energy that's been put out on those Wednesdays. It's 100 and something episodes. It's hours, guys. It's like thousands of hours. If we divert those to launching our products, what do you think we can do on that side? So I'm not saying that Dot Connect is over, but I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just telling you that I'm going to start putting my time to things to create, right? As great as the segment is, and as much as I love it, it's still an hour or two a week. Um, we've been dedicated to it. What happens when we put the hour or two a week in that one day in one project as a collective? I think it could take us a lot further. And then you think about just the context of like what we talk about. I'm just kind of over it. I'm over breaking down like dumb shit. I don't want to keep giving my perspective once a week. You know what I mean? This is dumb. It's dumb. We might catch $1, $20 on YouTube, and it's like, go shut off all monetization. Get rid of the choke point. I'm over it. So no more isolation, no more sitting on the sidelines. We're growing together. We're building systems that last, and we're creating real independence. Period. That's just the shit I'm on. All right. Um, is Lance on here?
Let's see.
So
Yes.
he is.
You
All
want
right,
to bring him up?
we'll call on him in a minute. Yeah, if he's available. So just let me close this out, and then we'll be good. Um, digital sovereignty is not about running from the world. I want you guys to understand that. All right, it's about mastering it. All right, it's about creating systems that work for you instead of against you. Okay, it's about owning your time, your tools, and your legacy. All right. So Skyton Academy isn't about just teaching about the future. I'm over that. We're about building it straight up. All right. From here on forward, you're just not students anymore, guys. You're builders, you're creators, you're investors, you're architects, you're sovereigns in the making. Period. you not just cancel. Y'all know how to cancel. Just get from around me. It's go time. All right. So Lance, you want to come on?
What up, Steve?
Man, everything good, brother. Without disclosing too much to them on what we're working on for that the island,
Oh, right.
I do want to bring the conversation in fold, right? So Lance was, for those of you who don't know, Lance was working outside of the country before, right? I don't know how much you want to share with that one, but he brings me an opportunity, um, with the destination that most people are probably familiar with if you heard it for sure. And it's high access to high ranking government officials. This particular place needs a framework for cryptocurrency. So we are tasked to doing what? Putting the framework together, right? And the more I look at the project, when you start to like hear the stories of these places, and everybody is looking for what? The same thing: independence. Independence from old systems, independence, the codependency on having to deal with BIS or the World Banks and taking money from America, then having to acquiesce to whatever they need you to do in those moments have held back so many people in countries. And this is the one time in history where there's cracks and you're seeing how fragile it is right now. And then there's lines being drawn in the sand. Which countries are dealing with which countries. That's why when you look at the mobility sovereignty, it's important, guys. It's not about mobility in a sense. I was telling my wife, I'm like, the more I think about it, it's like shit. I only work in America. That's all you really do here. So when everything became digital and you can just internet connection, that's when you started to get the digital nomads, people who are living in wherever in the world at whatever cost of living, and you're able to trade the markets. If you have that skill, you're able to still run your digital product if you do. But then we're entering a time where these guys are looking to control all things, even the internet, right? Putting tighter grips on things. Okay. So you're going to start to see a shift in digital nomads. You're going to start to see things kind of like not working. With the stroke of a pen, governments can destroy things through um, changes in laws, right? So when you think about Bitcoin, I had two posts the other day about Michael Saylor. If you have that interview with Saylor, um, it was in our group chat with Kurt. If you want to grab that, guys, that's a good watch, and I think you can start right around 30 minutes if you wanted to cut the fat out, and then just listen to him. So I broke down two parts of it where he talked about the need for corporations, the need for institutions to be wrapped around the Bitcoin, the need for government to be on board with the laws, and what the price of Bitcoin would be if they weren't involved with it. What was his price point, champ? If it was only retail,
5K.
5K, right? That sound familiar? That's how fragile Bitcoin is right now. It can go to 10 million if they get enough idiots on it. And I'm talking about countries, not retail. Retail is only 5% of Bitcoin right now. So tell me, where's the sovereignty in that? When 95% of it is owned by the same people that we not really even trying to do business with. So riddle me this. So the government and the biggest institutions and money managers in the world are giving you a bone. That's what you're telling me right now. They have a change of heart. Like literally, they just gave us financial sovereignty with this thing called Bitcoin that they never knew who the owner was. right? Never adopted in the beginning. It was a bunch of trailblazers that opened it up, right? It was supposed to be that freedom from systems, freedom from corporate, freedom from institutions, freedom from government. And now 95% of those same people that they were looking for freedom from are the ones that actually own that particular project. And you telling me that that's not centralized? It's a handful of people that control this, and they all fuck with each other. And I'm not saying that it's a bad investment because clearly, if you got in at $6,000-7,000, you up, right? But for the most part, if I had to guess what retail um, buy-ins are, it's not 7K averages out there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? There's some people in the high six figures. I mean, Saylor has to be over 70K a coin. 50 at minimum.
I think 60 at minimum.
60. See where I'm going with this?
Mm-hmm.
So what I got from that interview is, and he said it, he was like, if anybody decides to invest in a new protocol, that's what shifts and changes everything. So the minute that one of these guys decide to pull big profit and go into the next protocol that's supposed to take us into the new quantum financial system, what do you think happens to that coin?
Plummet.
It becomes a contagion. You look at Silicon Valley Bank, you look at some of the biggest investment banks, what happened? It took one person to make that move, and the rest followed. And then you're considered insolvent at that point now. He said it could even get down to zero. That's an insightful interview. You gotta, and don't let him fool you with the Litecoin, and the Ethereum. Like they skip over the number 3 asset every single time, like as if it doesn't exist.
Yep.
Like Litecoin, like you kidding me? So yeah, guys. So this is the next era. This is Skyton Academy, and this shit has been started, but it actually starts tonight. But we've been on it for 4 years now, and we haven't steered you guys wrong. If the focus now is not building, implementing, and releasing these products onto the market, it's going to be too late, guys. I'm telling you, these tech companies are going to own everything out the box. You understand? They're gonna. I'm watching AI driven stores that are going to change the landscape of bodegas and just everyday convenience stores, right? They're not even looking to lease the equipment to existing operators. They're taking it right to um, the all the service providers for these companies, and they're making them partners in the businesses. So, what do you think the service companies are going to do to these convenience stores? You think they're going to service them? We have immense opportunity in this market to create, and I'm not talking about things, just the wealth part is just obvious, right? But it's really just to counter what these guys are about to do. The market is ripe for us at this point now. They don't have people in mind. They figured they got us checkmate already. They'll follow anything, they'll do anything. You'll get into a car with no driver. This is wild. You'll get into a car with no driver. How many people do you think work in the transportation industry in America? It's the biggest driver, like literally, no pun intended. It's the biggest driver we have out here. Is getting things from point A to point B. So now we're talking about a handful of tech guys are going to own this. And Lance and I talked about this, but buying autonomous vehicles and putting them out to work for us. But how many people are going to be able to afford that? Those are the type of investments that Skyton Adventures is looking to get into. Not the ones where it's not solely what we can build. It's what we can pull together to invest in things that make sense for us, at the end of the day. I'm not saying here thinking that we can save every job in the world. Like, there's just some things that are just like, that's it. There's nothing you can do at this point now. If you're answering phones in a call center, good luck. But that doesn't mean that we can't build call centers for existing businesses right now. Right? That market is ripe. They're not looking for that market right now. It's just too small for them. You understand? So there's a gap. There's an opening right now. The 90s was just like this, guys. This was the time that created, anytime there's uncertainty, anytime there's changes in major technology, anytime there's an industrial revolution, there are new players that come to the table. You look at that Forbes list during every single one of those industrial revolutions, those names changed. That Bezos wasn't around 10 years ago, right or wrong.
X.
He was this nerdy looking guy inside this garage with that spray painted sign.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now you can't tell him shit. 10 years ago, where was Mark? He was sitting in a dorm room stealing people's ideas. Right? Where was Musk? You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are just, this happens in the next 10 years. There's going to be a new wave of people, a new wave of innovators. But before they let this thing go decentralized, they're going to try to tighten the grips up. And then you got the rise of Africa. If you're following Gary Vee, that's the number one thing he's talking about right now. All the opportunity is going to be on that continent moving forward. The biggest labor force, prime for home ownership, for vehicles, for you name it. Everything that we see here, you can literally bring there to set up. Everything is infrastructure. If you didn't see the post I had about the infrastructure and the project in Colombia, and it's all about that at the end of the day. Being able to power it with sun, solar, generator, backup battery, water, filters, filtration, to attain or achieve to never have a monthly bill, to be in control of your infrastructure. You know how powerful that is? So now you're telling me there's billions of people and we could generate all of these same ideas in these continents that aren't looking to work with people that don't look like them? And we're going to sit here as this dollar is failing. And then you're going to play the fear tactic game where they're telling you that you can't travel to certain countries. Y'all gotta read the laws, man. You can't just listen to what these dudes is throwing out here, what they tweeting. You can't do what? Yeah, they could probably stop people from coming in here, but they can't stop you from leaving. And what if it was a one-way ticket? What if they are doing us a favor at the end of the day? But I guess we always fight for shit that, that really don't really belong to us at the end of the day. That's one good thing about the culture. They will fight for some shit that don't matter. I don't argue with the lady in the Chinese store no more about like how rude they are and what, what I mean? Like, I don't do that. I don't eat from them type of hands like that no more.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to go where you celebrate it. And I'm just telling you that shit is, I'm not saying it's gloom and doom out here. I'm just telling you that we need to form a community of like-minded individuals and stay the fuck out the way and offer immense opportunity that's out here. So we just taking it back, man. For us, by us. As they're wiping out every word, everything that stands for us, by us, we can't even say no more. They've taken every single one of our catchphrases and they're utilizing them now. They're the minority. White male is the minority in America. So the choke points is what's actually keeping them in power, right? The fact that we cannot come off those systems. And we never even tried. I don't think even people know the alternative to Gmail. Does anybody know? Put a 1 in the chat if you know an alternative to Gmail. Put a 2 in the chat if you know a decentralized way to get an email address that's not tracked.
Yeah,
And
it's
put
a
it.
bunch of ones in here right now. We got a couple twos now though.
All right. So where's the dependency in that? And it's gotten even so crazy that when you go to websites now, it's like log in with your Gmail. So now you're not only giving them the power of your data from what you've created, but every other site that you interact with is giving Google this data. And all that information is being funneled where? Israel. They're just they're all intelligence. That's all these guys do is their intelligence at the end of the day. They're signing deals with Amazon and Google and like literally signing deals with these guys. So we just gonna fund our own demise at the end of the day. That's exactly what's happening right now. Where do you think the money's coming from? Do you think they're working to build warheads? Or where do you think the money's coming from? So at the academy, we're just going to start to identify what these choke points are, what they actually do, and then you decide. You make a sound decision when you make your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that we can cut these things off completely, but what I'm saying is we can slow it. We could definitely minimize it.
Right.
And then when we start to minimize it, we start to take that market share of people, and we can start to do what? Monetize it.
Monetize it.
Right. And if it's a good flow, then and it has all people in mind, and we start to just make sure that the money always circulates. We keep waiting for these guys to give us validation. Now, the knowledge ain't even the issue anymore, right? Because we're all on the same level with the same piece of technology. And within a couple months, the finance is not even going to be an issue anymore. They just never thought that we can organize together to ever put two and two together. We up now. Lance.
What's up?
What you got? You want to share a little bit with I know we talked the other day and you told me how you like the where we were going, but we didn't get too deep after. But what are your thoughts? And Lance, important piece of this puzzle too. I respect his brother tremendously. The 508, you guys understand this is not a product like for just a business, right? This is there's a lot of things that could be formed under there. So we're going to start to use the financial art piece within Skyton Ventures. So even if you came in, you can structure, Lance and I work together to figure out the structure of things so we can minimize, right? Because that's what you want to do. You want to minimize not only your data, but you want to minimize what you put out, right? You want to maximize your gains. This is what it's about. So what are your thoughts on this, Lance, with the changes and kind of where we're going with the academy?
No, I think you're right on point. Like you have to be able to focus the energy properly. And how long you been doing this now?
It's 4 years next month.
4 years, right? Dang, that flew by.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, so yeah, so the education part is there, right? It's like graduating college, right? We go to college for 4 years, right? And then you gotta put what you learned to work, right? You can't, you always in school is in a sense, right? But you gotta this is where the rubber meets the road. And it's important to do these adventures, just from being, doing private equity. It's important to do these things during um, a bull market when things are doing good, right? It's you want to be preparing when during the bear, and you want to be giving birth during the bull, right? So that's even why you seeing some of these people probably like even the XRP holding off going to IPO and all that. They want to hit that thing just right. They don't want to, a lot of these companies don't want to be IPOing in a bad market. So it's the same thing. You got it's this you kind of on the same track, right? In a sense, you kind of want to be hitting this thing as the market is going up. catching that momentum, that excitement, that liquidity, more importantly.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, showing people, Champ would take the lead on the crypto side, understanding that XRPL, that the XRP ledger, how we can truly, run our own banks.
Mhm.
Um, DeFi is built into that protocol. Like that's the one that we're gonna be, you know, um, kind of my DeFi protocol of choice,
You
right?
said XRP ledger?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
yeah.
100%.
The
Okay.
freedom to run your own bank right now. It's you can go with the Trump guys and do whatever and go wherever, but we kind of know that's not the move. So just a modern day green book. My wife always knew, I'm like, damn, if I could just recreate the green book again. If we
Well, one of the things, if you even look at what Trump and them is doing, even with his platform, they're still going to invest in other platforms, you
Mhm.
know. So, you could kind of have most of the focus on yours, but there's no, what I mean? You can take advantage of some of their profit windfalls. There's no jump on that.
Mhm. And that's all they doing. They just playing the game, leading people
Mhm.
astray. They planting their feet, plant their seeds, build the infrastructure, benefit from it, and then move right on. Saylor gave everybody the play, so that I dropped it in the chat. So that 30-minute mark, exactly what I just said is exactly what they've been doing. It's no different. They're always gonna give you something and then just keep you distracted. They'll make their bread, do what they have to do, they'll leverage it, and then once it's time to get out, it's go time. Black Swan, market crashes, only certain protocols and ecosystems thrive, and they're already well positioned. They know what's about to happen. All this stuff is well orchestrated for many years. So this is the time where we truly need to be building in those arenas, in those ecosystems. So we'll already be ahead of the curve.
The security is a big piece too because you figure how quick the lights could be turned off with these digital assets. I mean, they're showing it every day. They're not even trying to hide the fact that they can block any address, whitelist it to where you can't even move if you
Yeah,
wanted to.
100%.
So this is why it's important when we tell you about digital residency. It's not about getting on a exchange and being able to trade. It goes deeper than that. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm excited with the project with Lance. The framework for offering shit. This is digital sovereignty for
Hmm.
countries. The whole Africa's going to need it. The biggest driver of cryptocurrency and even just this digital finance world is education. That's the biggest driver because it'll do one of two things. It could either liberate you, and that's priceless, or it can whatever the opposite of that is, and that's also priceless to whoever's in control. So either way, you're gonna make the decision. So we bought the dollar joint back again until October 31st. So when we talk about bringing one or two people in community wise, this is the opportunity. Even if you had to give them, like Champ would say, 4 quarters,
Yeah.
and then the cream rises to the top. I don't care about big numbers, but we do need a good push and a good surge. I'm going to start sending you guys out there's going to be an email that goes out this week where I just need to know where everybody's skill sets are at. Um, Again, my wife thought of this as a survey of just understanding where people are at, what you can offer. Uh, Shit, we're hiring,
Hmm.
right? And it's not pay in exchange for time. It's equity. That's like the gig right now. Um, so I got a short list of people that I know, who's always expressed interest in coming on board for certain things. So we'll have the first meeting for Skyton Ventures would be uh, probably next week. Where we'll start to talk about the app. Uh, if you haven't ordered, we're going to make an adjustment, right? So I always say become a user before being an investor, right? So You guys run some stuff. There's Christmas coming up, running for a family member, running for a kid, like just running for somebody. We're just gonna make it like just super affordable for you guys to be able to see what it is. And then we'll have one that we'll just mirror and kind of use to build the framework. Uh, and it really is a data play, guys. When you look at how we could position a particular app like that, and then for me, it's just tech companies always go to the highest bidder, especially the ones that are actually making profit and that are in position for a sale,
Hmm.
right? We got a couple good ones, and then there's some people in the builders group that has some great ideas too. So I don't think we'll be short on ideas and implementation. For everybody that's been doing the AI courses, Ralph, there's been a good handful of people. I mean, we got some guys in here that are like super advanced, but then you got to step back and ask yourself, who are you doing it for? And there's nothing wrong with working for somebody and building their system and not having no equity in it. But how dumb does that sound? We're entering a phase where you can consult for anyone without having somebody have ownership over you. This is what the big guys do, the big tech guys. When they're going out, they're hiring guys. They're giving like baseball contracts out here for AI developers in their 20s, 100 million, 80 million. Like they're like, I'm like, yo, what? 1 year? Like, what ideas are these people coming up with that we have no clue? Because if you can pay one kid $100 million, they're not even finishing out the whole year. Where's the value in what's being built out here right now? And just think about it. If we came together as a culture to put things together for the culture that these guys can't even think about, where's the value in that stuff? And every project has to be thoughtful and approach too. We're not just putting stuff out just to put stuff out either. Right? That's the part of the venture that I need everybody to like really understand. Things are going to be thought through, like who we sell to and who we service and how we service and what we align ourselves with. So that whole investing in Apple and this and Planetary and all these guys that are just investing and closing this up and locking this up, it's like, come on, man, why would you do that? I've watched my entire life since I was a child, just watch how areas I lived in have been suppressed by, and not now, but just back in the day, just by dumb shit. They just build economies around us. They talk about this spending power we have that's bigger than most nations out there, right? They give us all the stats of how like the money leaves the community in like 6 seconds. I don't know if that was really happening or were we really trained to just one do that and then two trained to accept it. So what's dumber? The fact that somebody's out there moving the money in 6 seconds, or the fact that we still not changing the narrative on that? All right. It don't take much to live out here. I'm gonna tell you that now. That $1 billion mark, that's all the shit that they going for. I have an event that I was invited to next month. I'm gonna go and supposedly meeting with somebody who's a high net worth individual, and I gotta start just seeing what these rooms are about now, you know. And they have investment opportunities, and we shit. If I'm in the room, we bringing it back. And I think that's the biggest issue with the culture. They get so close to these people that they just forget And even when I look at the EYL platform, like, if it wasn't just for entertainment and just for self, it could just be a beautiful thing. And it may not be too late, you know? It may not be too late. But you think of the power of that collective if we can just bring it all together and make it make sense. You talk about financial instruments, but you never think to build financial instruments. I'm over it. I just want to get to work now. So from a teaching capacity of what is cryptocurrency and what is blockchain technology, I'm not the guy for that. It's a 9-part foundation. It's super solid. Everything is in there. Shit, champs, we've laid it out, man. I can't recreate that anymore. And I'll be honest with you, that's just about to expire. So the next question is, what are you going to do with the wealth that you attain through cryptocurrency? And keep in mind, there's no other market that's going to give you these returns either. And you're not going to get them back again if you blow it. So yes, we will continue with other projects. We do have the mass adoption projects, the V chains, the Morpheus, those type of projects. So there'll be things for us to go into. But for me is why not just our stuff, right? Why not wrap NFTs around, ownership and, turn these things into legacy plays? I've studied the rise of families during industrial revolutions, guys, and this is it. I don't know if we're going to see another one in this lifetime.
Nope.
Not our lifetime.
Positive. Nope.
No, we won't be around. Our kids won't even be around.
This is it.
Yeah. This is a good time right here. This is why I'm saying I don't want to focus on the gloom and doom anymore. It's just straight action right now. You know what I mean? We address what we address, cool. But it shouldn't be the focus every Wednesday. I truly think we need a better, it could be better time spent. As fun as Wednesdays are, we could probably do a rabbit hole, whatever, once every other week and just, download dumb shit. But you got Candace Owens. There's a bunch of good people out there, man, just handling the shit the right way. Tucker Carlson, we just throw out those links. And guys, don't kill the messenger before listening to the message. That's how they turn us against each other. Right? Just turn the video off. Just listen to what some of these people are saying. So we get into work. The Academy app, the first meeting, I'll bring you guys up to speed of where we're at. Drop a 1 in the chat if you didn't get an AI impact report yet. All right. And then for the people that dropped the one that didn't buy one yet, do you see the importance of knowing where your industry is going or where a industry is going that you may be interested in entering? And put a 0 for the ones. You're retired. Shit, what kind of pension you got? I want in on that. So what does retirement look like nowadays? Because I'm hearing my parents and stuff, they're complaining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the same.
Yvonne, you want to unmute Yvonne? Yvonne, you want to raise your hand? Retired? What does that look like? Because I'm not there yet. Is there a need for more opportunity for you with the rising cost of living and things like that? Does your retirement match where we're headed?
Yvonne, you can unmute yourself if you're available.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah, I'm retired. I'm a civil service retirement.
Okay. So
state. I need another source of income.
How old are you?
My retirement and my husband's retirement is still not enough.
And how old are you?
75.
We're living longer, guys. You hear her? And it's like, if you don't upskill yourself, what can you do at this point? For you?
Nothing. I'm like right now I'm drowning in what do you call it? Credit card payments and stuff like that. So that's why I kind of got interested in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in, I don't know, I guess it was 21,
Mm-hmm.
20 or 21, but like y'all be talking about all the time, like me and her both bought Bitcoin and all these other coins, but then we sold them because they was dropping and trying to keep up with everything. And now I'm holding on for dear life. Like my daughter, she's getting remarried and she want to do a cruise or whatever. It costs like $2,000. I said, I ain't got no damn $2,000. She said, well, sell some of that crypto. I said, girl, you on some crack or something. I ain't selling my crypto.
Oh,
I mean, guys, listen, these are some of the choke points right here. Like, what happens when you get to the age of not, the opportunities just not falling like that?
Yeah. And the AI, I'm retired, so I'm like, do I need a report or like I don't have a job that's going to disappear. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But
Yeah,
I listen to everything, like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to, what pertains to me. So, you got to kind of listen to everything.
yeah.
Yeah, your wife, grandchildren, neighbors, friends, it's all information at the end of the day, right?
But some people are hard-headed. Like they don't want to, like my younger daughter, like she just turned off. The older one is kind of into crypto. Like she knows a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll ask me like, what are you buying or something like that. But the younger ones, they just like you said, they got their mind captured. Like they don't even want to hear nothing.
I think the biggest thing now is leading by example. It's like the power that we have that I think a lot of people forget. And it's easy to, especially in these times. Like you forget how impactful you are to your circle, right? Your family, your unit, right? When people see you doing something or engaging in something, then they're more privy to ask. Like even with the crypto, your daughter is asking you these questions, and she's asking you because you're actually demonstrating. You're doing what everyone should be doing, right? The
Right.
more we all demonstrate, the more we're leading by example. Everybody who's supposed to be a part of that, they're going to be a part of it. Everybody else who's on the wayside or kind of walking that fine line in that gray area, the choice is going to be made for them. They won't have an option. It's crypto and AI, period.
Yeah.
It's period. There's no
Maybe they should. They both work for Delta. Maybe they need a AI thing report. Should get one for them.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's for the not so much for us, but for others.
For the other generation. Yeah, I got great grands, so
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, even my kids' school, there's no real AI talk, there's no cryptocurrency talk. They're not these schools aren't keeping up with times right now. Hence, every year around this time, there's a hard pivot with this academy, and we've always pushed the envelope year after year after year after year. And we kept delivering. So this is a good time here. And then somebody asks, when do we ever sell? And it's like, just think about it. Does a bank sell assets?
Yeah.
Man, you killed that. I was just about to say that. You leverage your asset. You never need to sell it.
That's it. And when you know where to put the money, and when it's always working for you, you see the cycle that you kind of create.
Yeah.
At that point now, that's all. It's just we're on a cycle. Like if you look at the life, Yvonne, it's kind of been, you're in this job. It's the same time, the same day, every day, and then vacation 2 weeks a year, and the pay grade, the ceiling, what you work towards. It's concocted to keep you in this pattern. I have friends that make great money in corporate. Now they're out, they have to sign these NDAs. They can't trade. They can't do this. It's like you can't do for self.
And you look forward to the bad part is you work and you look forward, oh, I'm going to retire, I'm going to do this. And then you can't afford to do SHIT. That's the crazy part.
What state are you in?
New York.
Shit.
And I can't buy what I want when I want. That pisses me off. but I'm hanging in there. I'm going to be one of the ones that get released.
You already know.
I'm following y'all, and to tell you the truth, since I've been with, like, when I first did that first boot camp, I forgot who recommended you, but when you did that first boot camp, and Steve with the potty mouth, I was like, nah, I can't do this. I can't do this. But then he was giving, y'all was giving out this information. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and just act like he ain't saying them bad words. But
I cleaned up.
I didn't got used to him now, so it ain't a problem.
I cleaned up a
be
little
telling
bit.
my grandkids, don't you use them bad words.
Oh, man.
But it's all good because I learned a lot. So
that's cool. Yeah, my bad on that. Like,
it's okay that everybody have their personality. So
that's all. I tightened up a little bit though. But yeah, now let's get to work. So tomorrow is Professor D in mindset. The course she put together is amazing too. I don't want to give too much out, but there is like a printed live workbook that's going to be mailed to everybody. This is there's one-on-ones with Professor D. Like, it's a big one. And I knew how much she even helped me when I first met her with the 30-day mental detox. You know, the groove I got in with the writing, the ability to just kind of get thoughts off, and it there is power in that pen. There's definitely power in those voices too. So yeah, I think the closer we get to this financial system and financial just this independence that we're about to gain through these assets that we hold, scarcity mindset will start to kind of creep in a little bit. And there's been studies on this too, guys. It literally, the money goes right back. It just can't stay in the hands of people who just don't know how to maintain and manage and grow it. Right? Yeah. We were never. No one talks about it. Everyone just talks about making money, and then what comes after making money? Spending money. Right? That middle part, that investing, the scaling back of lifestyle, especially when it first starts to come in. You know, that's the part that drowns people. It's the lifestyle change. Like, oh shit, make it, and then you change everything. And then the minute it slows, it's tied to like failure, even if you're still profitable. I've always said it, 2025, if you can make it past then, you're golden.
Yep.
And you're watching how every day is fragile. I'm like seeing another influencer, another teacher. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Not surprising, but just wild.
Dropping like dominoes, man.
Yeah. Definitely the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Straight up.
So maybe there is something that slow and steady does win the race. So we got 142 people in here. Listen,
and 30 on the other side.
That's wild, man. Like 4 years ago, literally, it was like 4 or 5 people in the room.
5 people in the room, yep.
Wow. Thank you.
Forever grateful, man.
Nah, big time. All right, so we're back to the dollar until October 31st. I'm not really like happy, but whatever. Just if you could find somebody with 4 quarters that has a little bit of an ear, I think they'll find enjoyment in this new situation. And you could pivot, whether it be AI, crypto. I think the entrepreneur stuff people want. What I'm doing in Colombia is also going to be duplicated in other areas throughout Central and Latin America. And 2026 is the year I go to the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
Just to start setting some stuff up there too. So we have Desmond. We bought on the guy with the product. That's another product I want to bring back in. He has the tax reporting product for countries.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing Desmond back into the fold again. That, that's another opportunity for Skyton Ventures. Nah, it's good times. And then November, I'll have a basket of other things. So every month as a group, we could analyze and, you know, I got a group full of thinkers, people who do research, who don't just take what you say. And that's valuable in itself. So when I get it, you get it. Man, I don't know what else to say, but I'm glad we rebounded because, man, it was Champ and I and like two other people. I think maybe a third person hit the call, and I was like, yo, I, I
You
should.
about to dead it.
I was about to dead. I'm like, I knew I should have clipped this damn group. It went through the head real quick, but I knew something was off. And then Jerry came in with a message, and it's crazy because the people on the call didn't even say anything,
At
right?
all.
They just stayed quiet for a little bit, and I was debating whether we give them something, and then now we're here. So I'm glad you guys. It had to have happened like that, like the
Mhm.
final test. Like, bro, you really want to do this? And I was gonna not do it, and I was just gonna present it tomorrow. So it wasn't not gonna happen. I just couldn't do it in front of like 3 people.
And we are on for tomorrow, for all members, 7 p.m. Steve, the link for everybody to get on for the dollar for the new members, just a regular website.
That's it.
No, no,
No code, no nothing.
you set it up that way. Cool. All right.
SkytonAcademy.com.
So no code needed. A couple people asked on the YouTube side, SkytonAcademy.com. Enroll, you good to go. $1 for your first month.
Yeah, you asked if we needed internal auditors. Yeah, nah, listen, everything is needed. Every skill set that somebody has is something that's needed. For me, and even studying business for so long, I start to realize like the people the furthest away from understanding what the product is probably the better of the person to talk to, right? Because they would see it in a different way. If you're trained to just see it the way that you were trained, it's kind of you're in the way a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You're in your way a little bit, as opposed to like there's no, trust me, this is how they test things in middle America. And if it could work, it kind of, you know, spreads out a little bit. So no, all I don't care what you do for a living or what you've done for a living. Like there's value in just we just need help at this point.
Mhm.
That's all. Yeah, so the mic is going to be turned over to you guys. We'll have things for people to do every week, and the meetings will be a lot more frequent. They won't be as long, but they will be frequent. And there'll be a lot of call to actions, and we'll try to keep it as as transparent as possible with where we're at in the phases. So of course, if you're in tech and you're in AI, super valuable now. But I love old school marketers and people that still have old school way of thinking, which I still adopt every day in my practices. So you will start to see a different side of me now, when I'm in implementation mode. Champ works alongside me, so he sees it, on a daily basis. He's at a front row seat to this shit, so he could tell you better than I can. But
Mhm.
it's pretty fast. It's pretty intense. And I ain't tripping like I used to. So you guys are safe now. I I ain't bugging no more, right, Champ?
Thanks.
Yeah, I kind of grew past that. Listen, I don't know. Anybody want to? We had a hand up or two. So, you can clip this recording if you want to take us out, and then
Yeah, I could I could definitely take us out.
all right.
You guys stay after I outro this. But ladies and gentlemen, this is no longer about education. This is activation. Skyton is no longer just a classroom. And we've never been just a classroom, but you can get where I'm going. This is the command center. We never ever waited for permission, ever. We're done studying other people's blueprints. It's time to draw our own. Every single one of you has a lane. Writers, designers, strategists, thinkers. This is your call to build. So no more watching, no more sidelines, no more talking. every hand on deck, because this time we eat what we create. This is where knowledge becomes action, action becomes equity, and equity becomes sovereignty. Tighten up. This is Skyton 2.0, the living ecosystem, a network of architects, visionaries, and free thinkers. On this side, we're doing the 3 I's: innovating, investing, and integrating. But we're doing this together. The wait is over. Welcome to the era of builders. We out.